We are back with another edition of Evan Ginsberg's Legends TV with my co-host, poet John Winell. And as always, John, show us the shirt. We have to see the shirt.
Should I stand up?
Stand up.
I'll stand up. I might as well.
Come on, you can do it, John.
That's it. We made it. Good old Edgar Allan Poe, and here's the
Edgar Allan Poet.
the epitaph, and of course the raven. The raven say, if Edgar lived for 40 years, and he said more in one word than most people say in a lifetime. Nevermore, right?
That's right. And we're going to have a crew of poets later on the show. We're going to have a comedian on the show. Right. We're going to talk wrestling. This is an eclectic mix.
As it always is.
As it always is. And I was watching, speaking of poets, I was watching Muhammad Ali's memorial yesterday, which was heart-wrenching, 3 hours live. And I thought President Clinton stole it. I mean, it was just so powerful. It's all on YouTube. It's all out there if you missed it live. But
if there's an eloquent speaker, it certainly would have been him. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't. I just saw like a little bit of what Billy Crystal did, which was very fun.
And with America divided the way it is today, with half the country for Trump and half the country for Hillary, or approximately half, you know, to see a memorial where you had Muslims, you had rabbis, you had Indians, you had monks, it was beautiful. It was just beautiful. Muhammad Ali in death brought everybody together. He had celebrities, he had politicians, and everybody. Well,
there were polls that said, you know, they had him and Babe Ruth as probably the two greatest athletes, or most memorable of the 20th century.
People forget that Babe Ruth was a great pitcher before he was a hitter.
That's right.
So, unbelievable. And Muhammad Ali was a childhood hero of mine, and you almost felt like you were burying a friend. Very, very sobering to watch.
Yeah.
And they had the casket going through Louisville, his hometown, you know, in a hearse,
right.
And people were throwing flowers and touching the hearse. It was very, very powerful.
I saw some photographs of that, people carrying signs, and he touched a lot of people. You know, greatness is greatness.
And as the hearse went down the street, they were yelling, Ali, Ali.
Even a shout out to Steve Ludwig. There's the famous photographs of the Beatles in the ring with Ali, and of course them pretending that they not. I guess he was Ali then. He wasn't Cassius Clay. Maybe he was still Cassius Clay, because when did he change it? In '64 he changed his name.
Yeah. So
it was around that time.
And if people know his life story like I do as a boxing fan, you know, he retired in 1981. It's a long time ago to get this kind of response. You know, you're talking a lifetime ago, and
but he was always a figure. I mean, he showed up at things. Wasn't his daughter fighting? So he was always a presence.
Sure.
Such a revered. I mean, a great, very,
but
very.
But the peak of his career was 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah. Well, he
won
the
60
Olympics.
Years ago. Yeah.
When did he win the Olympics? 60, right?
1960. So to see this kind of response, they say that Muhammad Ali was the most famous man in the world, and I'll explain exactly why. He came as closed circuit hit, so the technology brought him all around the world. He converted, he became a Muslim, of course, so that world knew him.
Right.
And he trained and lived and fought in Africa before the Foreman fight for several months.
Right.
So the African world knew him. So far more famous than any president or the Pope or any movie star, worldwide phenomena.
Maybe that's why the response, such a variety of points of view, religious, all coming together for a great man. I mean,
plus he transcended sports because he was a political figure.
He did. From early on. I mean, '64. That was his emergence, fortunately or unfortunately, into politics, and he took it from forward. I mean, he was a great man. It's a hole in the world. I think I know I felt it. I mean, there have been articles all week in the paper.
In the past few months, just like heroes from my youth that we've lost. We lost Prince. We lost Maurice White from Earth, Wind and Fire. We lost David Bowie. We lost Roddy Piper, if you're a wrestling fan. Dusty Rhodes. I mean, these are huge, huge names who sold out arenas around the world. Stadiums, arenas.
Yeah, irreplaceable people.
I mean, and charismatic and larger than life.
Sure.
There's a ton of celebrities, but, you know, this is like a whole different level of celebrity.
I think so, too. I don't think there's been... I mean, how many athletes? I mean, who that are revered like Ali? That are even I can't think of anybody today. I mean,
if Floyd Mayweather dropped dead, what would the memorial be? He made a lot of money. He fought a lot of boring fights. He made it rain at strip clubs. I mean, what would the memorial be?
Well, boxing has taken has really taken a downward turn. Maybe Tyson was the beginning of that, really, brought down the downfall of boxing. Ali brought it to a different level.
Well, the heavyweight scene is a joke today compared to Ali's era. Ali had Foreman, Norton, Frazier, Shavers, etc., so on. I mean, it was a great era. These guys today are interchangeable.
Yeah, I think most athletes today, anybody, I mean, the entertainers today, who are any of these people? They're like gone. As like yesterday's papers. Who remembers anybody? I mean, I think it was a couple of years ago when Lou Reed passed. That was very tough too, very hard. Yeah. Another great.
People throw around the word genius to the point that it cheapens it. But a Lou Reed, a Prince, Bowie, these are geniuses, musical geniuses.
Yeah, that's right.
So as a poet, what did you honestly think about Ali's poetry?
Well, it's fun. It's humorous. What I think, what Ali, how clever he was. Ali, as a great fighter, used poetry also as a strategy to really size up whoever he was fighting against. So he used it also as a weapon, as a tactical weapon, and it worked. I mean, it was clever, whimsical. And as brilliant as him. Whether it's literature, no, I don't think so, but it's fun.
I'll tell you though, I read many quotes of his, and they're really quite worthy. One really struck me. It said, if you think the same way at 50 years old as you did at 20, you've wasted 30 years of your life.
Well,
that's very profound.
Yeah, very
Because some
clever.
people never grow up.
Of course not. People don't develop, they don't adapt, they remain as they were. I mean, what do they say? The people that peaked in high school, those are the ones that that you don't want to be with, because if you're peaking then, what's the point of life? Life is a development. No, that's very clear. As of course Ali would know. I mean, he was a different man at 50 than he was at 20. His whole life changed.
And speaking of that subject, I'd like to do a shout out to Cue Ball Carmichael, who's a friend of mine. He's a great wrestler. And he said the other day, he's my age, mid-50s, he said, I know nothing. And I was very struck by that because he's a very intelligent guy. And I started thinking about it, and in recent years, I started doing Tai Chi, meditation, a little bit of yoga, etc., so on, and you start to realize how little you know about so many things.
Well, of course.
Those
that
if you're humble enough to admit it.
Well, that's it. I mean, those that really know, what was that quote that Einstein says, that if you really think you know something, the gods are laughing somewhere. Because what do we really know? I mean, we live in a world, in a gigantic universe. We're just microscopic and compared to everything. And even in the timeline, man has just lived a fraction as far as how the world existed. So you really can't know. It's important to know about things, and you know about what you know, and you try to broaden yourself, but you're only on the earth, maybe if you're lucky, 100 years, which is, how much can you know? I mean, you have your circle of friends, and you try to expand it, and you go to different places.
I know pro wrestling and spaghetti westerns and boxing. That's what I know.
Those are fun things. And,
yeah.
And
other than that, I'm an idiot.
Well, people know what they know, and to have the wonder to even want to. I mean, I still try to have that wonderment about what there is to find out about things, because if you really look, what any of us know about anything. Even if you're a quote-unquote expert, the world is still, look at the internet. Whoever thought that anything like that would happen, for better or worse? I mean, to have your own private telephone, whoever thought that could be possible?
Speaking of worse, as far as the internet, you get a lot of 20-somethings who think they know everything,
Well, but
and they
that's
certainly don't.
Well, of course, how could they?
Yeah. So, John, since we're talking about Ali and politics, I'd like to nominate my own candidate for President of the United States, because I'm not quite happy with Trump or Hillary. So here we go. And this is, John did not see this, so he's going to be as surprised as anybody. Here we go. Bootsy for president.
Hey!
There you go. What do you think?
Well, he certainly would bring the rhythm to it.
Bootsy Collins from
that's
P-Funk, in case you don't know, Parliament Funkadelic. So, and speaking of politics, we have two quote-unquote political videos, and we don't do a lot of politics here because we're an art show, and inevitably you offend half of your audience, but since this was a big week politically, with the first woman ever nominated for president,
Very exciting.
for major
historic.
party. What do you think of that?
I think it's a great step forward. I mean, other countries have had women, running their country.
Oh yeah, Golda Meir.
Angela Merkel in Germany. I mean, so in America, I think we're more cautious. I mean, I think it's exciting whether you like her or not. It's still very exciting.
Women did not have the right to vote in all the states until 1920.
Yeah.
This country started 1776. Think about that. So this is a major, major step.
Major, yeah.
So we'll have had a black president. We'll possibly have a woman president. We've never had a Jewish president, an Italian president, a Hispanic president, an Asian president, so we still have some work to do, but we're on the right track.
That's right.
On the right track. So we're going to show this first quote-unquote political video, and this is from Ned Massey, who I consider a musical genius. He was John Hammond's final discovery. John Hammond, who discovered so many of the greats, Billie Holiday, who else?
Well, Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
I mean, so many. Certainly, as if Billie Holiday should be enough, but
So Ned Massey is one of the few. I know thousands of musicians. I've done radio for 20 plus years and TV for the past 3 or 4, and book clubs, etc. But I consider him a musical genius. This is Angry Old White Man. See what you think, folks.
I don't wanna end up an angry old white man, cursing at the world, passing me by and looking back sad, forward frightened. I don't wanna end up an angry old white man. Ooh, what do you do? Break the chain to keep it from coming true. At the world, passing me by and looking back sad, forward frightened. I don't wanna end up an angry old white man. I don't wanna hurt my kids and wife and pretend it's forgotten with the passing of time. Yeah, time goes by, it's not alright. Man, say goodbye to the lie of the angry old white man. Of the mistakes I made, shaking my fist, searching for blame, smashing at the mirror as my vision fades. All I can say is, no way, man. I don't wanna end up an angry old white man, cursing at the world, passing me by and looking back sad, forward frightened. I don't wanna end up an angry old white man. I'm not gonna end up an angry old white man. man.
All right, the great Ned Massey. I've been asking Ned Massey to come on this show for 3 or 4 years. Please, Ned, how many times could I ask? A great, great artist, and looking forward to having him on. And we have one other video before we go to commercial break. This is very rare footage of Hillary Clinton that's snuck into the video, you're going to see. And it's by another Clinton. This is a surprise, folks. Check this out.
And in these uptight times, hardcore funketeers deploy the bop gun, the unleasher of positive light. The bop gun can do you no harm. It frees your mind, so your behind can follow.
Let's do a flyby.
1, 2, 3, and I come with the wicked White House lights out. Boom, boom, boom with the bop gun. Looks like I dropped one. I'm top gun, both deep. Yeah, what's up? What's poppin'? This is Dr. Dre calling from Chronic Control. Could I speak to the president? Yeah, just tell him he was smoking last night at the club, you know what I'm saying? What, he don't inhale? Well, I know I got the wrong house. Did somebody beat me from there?
Colors don't clash, people do. Color me happy next to you. Oh, just like it should. That old neighborhood. That's what they'd have us believe.
No matter what, no matter what color.
If love ain't got nothing to do with it, then keep it. Ain't no big secret, we all know the reason. People change every day, but life stays the same. One big game, ain't a damn thing changed. A woman's gotta do what a woman's gotta do. Be a maxtress, don't let these mackers mack you. So I get caught up in it, I'm stressing and tired. The man who runs the joint gets me higher. It can be a white house, a black house. It can be a crack house, an outhouse. If it ain't the right house, go get your army against lady. We gotta fight, they ain't gon' set aside another night. It's so bad that Los Angeles is so scandalous. Give me somebody who can handle us. Yo is on top of things, so color me mad. I'm ready for
How they
a
came out show
change.
one time, too many, and a brother gotta be coming out his nickels and counting up his last pennies. Buying brushes and bum rushing homies greenery. Many envy, but a hill of beans, what it means to me. Even up to me, I'm painting the White House black, and ain't no feature in your frontin', so why the hell he frontin', Jack? It'll either change or we gon' change it.
Yeah, it's getting old.
Using everything from spray cans to charcoal. Put them out and put the crew up on discharge. Leaving wet paint signs in the front yard.
Charge these people crazy, man. They don't even know what I'm saying.
Oh, airbrushed and colorized, change right before our eyes. Real is visualized in every frame. And let the love shine from the right house, be it the black, red, or white house. I feel the puppeteer can't pull our stride.
You know what I'm saying?
What's right ain't right, get the flashlight.
No matter what, no matter what color.
Both time, all of us come together straight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag, being all I could never be.
Damn, with his toe tag.
Yeah, this is USAK all day, and you can't interrupt. Lay back.
What's up?
Stars and stripes for the tars and tights. Got brothers like me behind bars and on pipes. Damn, I'm getting took for a trip. They got me seeing stars from the club and stripes from the whip. Why must y'all be like that? I ain't into politics, so skip them white collar tricks. They never did us no good. To hell with the space shuttle. Put some money in the hood and make jobs. Let's mob up to the Capitol. Then we ain't gotta rap it all. Power to the people, and the only way to get free is the J to the U-S-T-I-C-E.
Picture this, paint a picture, picture.
Yo, listen to the real Clinton.
Who, Bill Clinton?
Hell nah, I'm talking about George Clinton.
The White House black, brown.
No matter what creed or what color. With God by this time we're gonna change it for
I love George Clinton. I wish he were the president. What do you think, John?
Sure. Well, invite him to the White House. He certainly.
He played at Clinton. He played at Clinton's inaugural, I believe.
Oh, that's great. Clever.
Anyway, John, plug your book because we got some poets coming on in a few.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's up on the table. Poems for Everyday People, and you can reach me JONWINELL at Facebook and at Yahoo, and I think at the website of McNally Jackson in New York on Prince Street, McNally Jackson, JACKSON, and you can reach, get the book that way.
I can tell you a poet you spell well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, with certain people, I know that Scott Fitzgerald was a terrible speller.
Really?
So,
That's interesting.
Yeah, he had a great editor, Max.
Great drinker, though.
That's right, a great drinker. As was Hemingway, a great drinker.
And this is Apartment 4B, like in Brooklyn, about the turbulent East Flatbush of the 60s and 70s, a 50 or so short story collection that I think you'll enjoy. The good, the bad, and the ugly of growing up in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, back in the day. And we're going to have promoter Michael Beresford, poet Freedom Brown, and verbal artist Turtle Will. When we come back after this very brief timeout, you are watching the eclectic mix known as Legends TV. Don't you dare go anywhere.
From the associate producer of The Wrestler comes Wrestling Then and Now. Walk with producer Evan Ginsberg as he explores the real-life East Coast indie wrestling scene portrayed in The Wrestler. Featuring legends old and new. Killer Kowalski.
People get so gullible I can say anything, believe it all. The whole thing is, from the very beginning, you can create baloney, and more baloney, people still believe you.
Nikolai Volkov.
I escaped from communist country, but then I met the gentleman named Fred Blassie, who was my manager. He told me, Mr. Nikolai, if you hate so much communism, why you don't help those people that live there, show the rest of the world what it means to be communist. Just act like you are one. You know what they did to you, what they did to your family. And I said, yeah, that's a good idea. Well, double deal, so I did it.
Don Dr. Death Arnold.
Sell it. That's it, boy. That's it.
Oh boy. Low Life Louis
Ramos. What I speak
Ramos.
about is the time when I was wrestling in a church for a community show, and I lit the table on fire and the whole building almost burned down.
Ratty the Rat Girl.
When you tell or show your family about your unusual career path, how do they react?
My mom just thinks it's me trying to get attention, that there was some deep, dark disturbance that I'm trying to, get her to become aware of, but she just doesn't quite understand, it's a passion, it's storytelling.
And the Great Mambo King.
I'm what you call your professional wrestler, Boys Club of America type of guy. I saw a bunch of kids basically being hoodlums, doing bad things in the streets, so I decided, hey, what should I do? Should I get them? Yes, I'm a wrestler. You want to be in an interview with me?
Wrestling Then and Now is a must-see for both die-hard fans as well as casual fans of the sport. A wonderful piece of history and art. I can't wait to watch it all over again. It was great to see my old deceased friends, Killer Kowalski and Tiger Khan. It was also great to see Evan Ginsberg, Don Arnold, and Jeff Archer. You don't have to be a wrestling fan to enjoy. It's that good. Wrestling Then and Now. Streaming to your computer, to your phone, to your TV. Visit Amazon.com and look for Wrestling Then and Now.
For nearly a decade, Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio has featured interviews with the greatest names in the arts and sports. Heard worldwide at legendsradio.net, the program has featured these great musical legends: Ray Manzarek of The Doors, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, Judy Collins, Roberta Flack, and many more. Stars from movies, TV, and comedy have included Jenny McCarthy, Wayne Brady, 30 Rock's Judah Friedlander, Shelley Berman, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, David Allen Greer, and Paul Mooney. Stars of pro wrestling and MMA include Bruno Sammartino, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Superstar Billy Graham, and Frank Shamrock. Co-hosted by renowned journalist Dr. Mike Leno, Legends Radio is heard Wednesdays, 7 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard. We are archived 24/7 with hundreds of hours of classic interviews. Legends Radio also features the best in indie music, showcasing talent deserving wider exposure.
I'm from Brooklyn, baby. Don't forget the gravy. We are soldiers.
You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't you dare miss Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio.
Galaxy Luxury Coach is a full-service limousine and party bus company. Family-owned and operated, we are an industry leader with over 25 years of experience in providing best-in-class luxury transportation for your special event. Whether it's your precious wedding day, an all-day wine tour out east, your high school prom, that special birthday, or just an amazing night on the town, our professional chauffeurs stand ready to ensure your special event is truly special. Galaxy Luxury Coach has one of the largest and modern party bus fleets in the New York area. Our party buses are simply nightclubs on wheels. Concert sound systems, light shows, lasers and strobes, multicolor LED lighting brilliantly lights your party bus inside and out. For corporate and more laid-back events, we will cater to your specific needs and requests. What sets Galaxy aside from all others in the luxury transportation industry is our attention to detail in customizing our services to your special event. At Galaxy, it's all about you and your guests. Galaxy customers return time and time again because they know they can trust Galaxy to help deliver those lifetime memorable moments. Step aboard and let your Galaxy experience begin.
Welcome to the Rehab Center located at 2025 Brentwood Road in Brentwood, New York. At the center, we offer chiropractic services, acupuncture, and physical therapy. We take most major medical, no-fault, and workers' comp insurance. If you need these types of services, contact the offices at 631-234-4949. That's 631-234-4949.
We are back with Legends TV, the eclectic mix, and joining me is wrestling and poetry and music promoter Michael Beresford. How are you today?
I'm fine, Evan. How are you?
Great, great. And introduce your crew here.
We have Turtle Will here. He's one of my newest poets, and we also have Freedom Brown. She's one of my other poets as well.
Okay, and Turtle, you call yourself a verbal artist. Explain that.
Yes, I call myself a verbal artist. Basically, I feel like we like to segregate a lot of literature. We do that a lot. And I do it all. Like, if it can be written, it's what I do. I do skits, I do poetry. Some call it rap, some call it poems, some call it songs. I wrote it on a page. I'm presenting it as is. It's verbal art to me. So that's why I consider myself a verbal artist.
Okay, and Freedom, you have an interesting story with your name. Tell us about that. Freedom.
Yeah, Turtle Will be.
Wait, Freedom.
I apologize.
Hi,
he was still talking to me.
My name is Freedom Brown. It came from my childhood. I was born and raised in the projects, and I always wanted to escape that neighborhood, that lifestyle of being born and raised in the projects. So once I graduated out of college, I was able to have saved enough money to buy my first house. So once I moved out of the projects, I was now free from Brownsville, which is the neighborhood that I lived in. So once I was free, I told myself, I'm free from Brownsville, so I developed the name Freedom Brown, free from Brownsville.
How far were you from Snedeker and Livonia? That's where my mom grew up.
Oh man, we was about maybe 10 minutes away.
Okay.
Right down the block.
I know Brown. I worked in schools on Mother Gaston Boulevard.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's right there. Wow.
Yeah, that's right there.
I know Brownsville. This is a long time ago, but I did, yeah. So
Nice.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And you bought a house. Tell us about that. That's no small achievement in New York.
No, it was a big achievement. We bought a 2-family house, a duplex over duplex, nice backyard, right in Brooklyn. That was in Bushwick area.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's changed too, Bushwick.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So you're sitting on a gold mine now.
Yeah.
Unlike the rest of us. You're doing okay. There you go. There you go.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Michael, tell us how you have a big wrestling show coming up. Wrestling, poetry, music, comedy. This is a real promoter. Tell us about yourself.
Definitely. I do a little bit of everything. I've always been interested in the entertainment field. And, I went to college and I majored in economics. So I was basically always around people looking to find ways to make their money work for them. And at a very young age, I realized that, having a job is great, but you know what? My job can't be my only source of income, right? So then I started looking at other avenues to generate revenue. But along the same lines, I've always had a big heart. I've always liked helping people. So about when I was 21, 22, a couple of my friends wanted to be hip-hop artists, but they didn't know anything about the business, BMI, ASCAP, things like that. So,
Right.
I went
It's show
to
business.
Right,
You
exactly. It's
forget
show
that.
business,
Yeah.
exactly, Evan. So, I started creating packages for the guys. I would promote their music. I would get them registered, things like that. And then the music just led into other avenues because it seems like everybody who wasn't a rapper was a comedian, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, well, make me laugh. If you guys say you're comedians, do a 5-minute set right now. And some of the people did do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were a lot of guys that I grew up with that were just ridiculously funny. I want to give a shout out to my man Flex, who couldn't be here, but Flex is going to be at the June 25th wrestling show as well.
So you're mixing wrestling and comedy.
Well, Flex is he's the one person that I know that can definitely be on both aspects of the wrestling and the comedy. I don't know if you saw the first wrestling show that we did on March 13th.
No.
Flex was actually the commissioner for that show.
Okay.
So we have a storyline built around the commissioner, the director of operations and stuff like that. So you're going to see that developing along the way. And then, just from being involved with mixed martial arts.
So why don't you throw some music into your wrestling shows, like an intermission or whatever?
Well, actually, you know what? We are planning on doing that as well. I've been in talks with Hot 97, with 105.1, and we're trying to actually bring them in. I don't know if you know Rosenberg, but he is a very big wrestling fan. So the hip-hop community loves the wrestling community as well. So ultimately, I'm trying to mesh the two together.
Yeah, we had the rock and wrestling connection. Now you could have the rock and hip hop connection.
There you go, right? Yes, indeed.
And Turtle, you have an interesting story behind your name also. Tell us about that.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize he was talking to you. First
It's
off,
all
I need
right.
to
It's all
apologize.
right.
I'm so sorry. My apologies.
We're flexible here.
Yeah.
Well, since you asked about my story. Basically, I've said this too many times. Basically, I look up to the Ninja Turtles.
And why is that?
Why? Because no, it's not. Duh, I like Ninja Turtles. No, I like Ninja Turtles because they inspire family beyond blood. Just because someone's not in your bloodline does not mean they can't be considered your family as well. I mean, look at them. They look at a giant rat as their father, and they see no diversity within that, and that's the type of world I choose to live
There's
in.
lots
one
of
where
people
we're
in
all-
America who have rats as fathers. There's a lot of deadbeat dads out there.
You know what? I respect my dad, but I'll say he's a bit of a rat. I respect my dad though. I respect my dad. Love him. Shout out to Pops.
So you said you do skits. You do comedy also?
Yeah, somewhat. Again, verbal artist. I like to make people laugh because that seems to be the go-to emotion for a lot of people. If I can make you laugh, I enter your soul. I made you happy about something. I put joy in your system. That's great. How can I work with that? So I use literature in a way to bend emotions, basically. And I tend to, when I write my skits, not a lot of time, all the time. I just want to make you laugh. So, however I can put it in there, however I can fit a storyline in there where you can be like, oh, I see why that Wade would laugh.
I think we need more laughter in wrestling. Some of the greatest wrestlers were funny. Roddy Piper,
definitely.
John Tolas, Randy Savage. I mean, these guys were funny.
all my favorite guys growing up too.
Same in hip hop. I mean,
We
some of
just
these guys
need more
are
laughter, period.
Yeah.
I think I wrote to somebody on the internet. I said, people are hungry for laughter
Yeah.
right now, so especially now.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I'm a little older than you guys, but I think it's the most tense time since the 60s and 70s. The country's totally divided. There's a lot of racial tension, xenophobia. You know, it's rough out there now. And Trump is lighting the flames. And
Can I say something on politics real quick?
Sure.
I don't even get into politics. But
you're probably smarter than me because I've lost all kinds of friends and family. Yeah.
I don't even get into politics, but the thing about it is, and no, I'm not smarter than you. But, like, honestly, once Obama leaves, I feel like Armageddon happens immediately.
It might.
I feel like it's
Well,
happening.
let's hope not.
Let's hope not.
Because come January 1st, I want to...
But the thing about it, I feel like, hey, Earth, you got your first black president. You're happy, right? You're done?
And then boom.
It's not true. Just in America, there are certainly black presidents in other parts of the world.
Definitely.
In many other parts of the world. So America is not just a country unto itself. We're part of the world.
Yeah.
And there are people represented in all women presidents, black presidents, Asian, this is a big world. That's what the president of America has to remember, that we are part of the world proper, that we're dealing with lots of different people of different everything.
Thank you for bringing the patriot out in me.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't think Trump could name most of the presidents in the world today.
Which is unfortunate. Which is why I know I'm going to, which is why we have to vote and make sure that he does not go anywhere near the White House.
Agreed.
I mean, all the talk on Trump, I'm sorry, Trump, I'm sorry. But why is he still qualified?
Why? You say that about a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mean to offend. I apologize.
You guys missed the last segment, but here's my nomination for president. We got Bootsy Collins for president right here.
That's right. Maybe.
Hey, you want to know? You're laughing, but this is a peaceful guy. This is a guy who makes people happy. This is a guy who creates beautiful music instead of stress and tension.
Isn't that what the world needs?
Should be.
More peace and less tension.
My favorite president in my lifetime, I thought Jimmy Carter, a man of peace.
Yeah. He was a man of peace.
I remember that I'd said hi to this one guy. He didn't want to say hi to me because we're strangers, and I got that. I understood. We're strangers. You don't know me. But I was like, hey. I was like, And I was like, why can't we be friends?
There you go.
War. He immediately started laughing. He immediately started laughing. Realizing,
great song.
I think Obama is going to be regarded as one of the great presidents in history once the smoke clears, and they fought him every step of the way. Every step of the way. Kennedy was a great president the little time he was there.
I mean, Johnson, if you could believe, how complicated a man of the South could. He passed this. He was passed the Civil Rights Act. Under all, terrible, obstacles.
Yeah.
It's amazing for a Southerner, for a Tex. He did more for Kennedy than Kennedy did. Of course he didn't. So he's a fascinating guy.
Yeah.
And there was yet another shooting in Dallas yesterday. We've heard that before.
How frightening.
Do you know what the last words were that Kennedy heard? The governor's wife turned to Kennedy and said, "Mr. President, Dallas loves you." And then they shot him dead.
Oof.
Isn't that ironic?
That is ironic. Yeah. Wow.
So sorry guys, I have a confession. I just need to say this.
You're going to confess that you weren't around to see that back then.
No, I was just going to say, I voted for Obama because he was black. I just want to see a black guy in office.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
But he was the right guy, though.
He was the right guy, though.
And I think many people felt the same way.
Exactly.
You're not alone.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's terrible as like.
But I think it is reassuring that young people have gotten behind Sanders, despite the fact that, he's much older, and the young people kind of rallied behind him to a degree.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. That was a big part of his force. That's why, I mean, I'm saying, I know it hasn't been said, how about a Clinton-Sanders ticket? why not?
That would be perfect.
Yeah,
but,
that would be
But
nice.
I don't know if it'll happen.
But he's not bought and sold, so I don't see it happening.
But it would be nice, it would be wise, and it would certainly bring the party together. I think that's what has to happen.
I want to see a George Clinton ticket. Anyway.
Nice. That would be a nice ticket.
George Clinton's 74. Sanders is 74, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ali was 74. Play that number.
Right.
Anyway,
74s, yeah.
getting back to our guest, we got off on a political tangent. Any career highlights? I'll throw this out to all of you. Career highlights?
You know what? Career highlights. So far, the biggest thing has been what I like so far about what we've got going is that we sit down and we'll say, you know what, we need to do this. We map it out and we make it happen. So every time we go off into a new expansion of the company and we make that happen, that's a big highlight for me, man. Because I deal with a lot of people all the time that say we're gonna do this, but nothing ever gets done.
So how do you market poetry? Because poetry's a tough sell.
It is.
You get idiots who go, "Oh, that's boring." I mean, how do you market it when somebody's...
Here's the thing about poetry. It's your own expression. You can't ever necessarily say that it won't sell. Because
But how do you sell it? He's a
sell
promoter.
it?
That's what I'm
How do
asking.
you sell it? You speak the truth. You speak.
But how do you get bodies in the seats?
This is what you do.
John, we've done enough gigs, where we do readings and there's not a lot of people many times.
Some people, sometimes they come, sometimes they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, everything is an individual expression, but who knows? You have to make it attractive somehow. Who knows?
Well,
what
as a
happens?
promoter, that's the question I'm asking. How do you market the poetry?
So the one thing that I've realized that in business and in any business, there's an acronym called WIFM. What's in it for me? Okay.
And that's
if you
show
can-
business right there. Yeah.
So if you can make a situation that not only highlights a person's talent, but gives them a platform to show off that talent to family and friends and things of that nature, it makes it very enticing for them. So when we do the poetry, not only do we offer them an opportunity to be on a radio station or an opportunity to be in a magazine, but then the poetry creates the next level of the platform, right? So if you're on a poetry slam today, that also can lead into doing business with some of the actors that I deal with. I deal with a lot of actors throughout the industry, and sometimes they're looking for extras to come on the show. So when you come in and you bring your A game, any one of those guys could be in the audience at any particular time. So you never know who you're gonna meet when you come to one of the shows. And that's one thing that we always do. Whenever we have the shows, we always have a lot of industry people that come down. So when you get in there, you can meet specific people. I'm actually trying to get Kelly Price now to come and do a show with us. Yeah. So we're working on that. Fingers crossed that we'll make that happen. And if the poets know Kelly Price is going to be there.
We did a show a few months ago mixing all genres. We had wrestlers, we had rappers, we had musicians, we had poets.
Oh, the one out in Club.
There's no reason you can't mix genres. In the 60s and 70s, the Fillmore, that's
Bill Graham did that. That was his philosophy, really.
Now everything's so regimented.
Well, which is a shame. I think that people have to be broad-minded and know that there are all of these different experiences out there. Why narrow your experience? Be open to everything. We need
Be a
another-
Renaissance man. Something else the Ninja Turtles inspired. Renaissance names. Renaissance man.
There you go.
That's it.
There you
Just
go.
be involved with everything. Yeah, I'm into this. I'm into this. This way you get them at everywhere.
So what did you think of the latest movie? I didn't see it.
Fan service. Oh, fan service. You just gave me a nerdgasm, man. You just gave me a nerdgasm. That's, oh, God. Yeah, but I don't want to turn this into a whole review because I'll go in if I decide to.
Okay.
I'll go in. But
Thumbs up, though.
So thumbs up.
Most definitely. 3 thumbs up. I don't have a
thumbs
third
up.
thumb. Hey,
3 thumbs up. You should market that.
3 thumbs right there. Yeah, bong.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
So, career highlights?
Well, basically, I've run into a couple of people. I've run into a lot of upcoming artists that are just great. I'm talking about Tupac level good. There's this cat I'm working with.
I saw Tupac live with Digital Underground. That's how old I am.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm 107. Yeah.
You look good for 107.
Keeping the hands.
I'm trying to keep it together. It's not easy.
But there's this cat I'm working with. He goes by the name of East Move. he would have been here had he not.
Things happen.
Yeah.
Had he moved.
Had he been awake, man, if you're watching this, I really wish you were awake. You could have came through, but oh well.
Would have been smoother
Sorry.
if he showed up.
It would have been smooth. He would have made it real smooth.
Yeah.
Made it real smooth. As a matter of fact, we have a thing going on. I'm Turtle Will. He's Smooth. We come together. We become Smooth Turtle. we actually had an interview not so long ago with the. I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of the YouTube group Chamber Boys. No. Well, man, not everybody hears of
But in the
everybody.
Chamber Brothers.
Yeah.
Chamber Brothers.
Time.
Not those. not
Chamber
those guys.
Brothers. Yeah.
Not those guys, but basically they're running their own YouTube channel and whatnot, and they do interviews, and so.
Okay.
We had our interview.
So you're getting attention for your art, which is always great.
Yeah.
At a young, how old are you? Do you mind if we ask?
I am 21.
21. Wow.
First start at 20.
I got genes older than you. I'm kidding. And Freedom, career highlights.
Career highlights. Well, actually, my career highlight starts from December 2014. This is my brother, my manager, my best friend as well. He helped me create my book. Which is
That's a
called
beautiful
Family
cover.
Beautiful. Look at that.
Of course,
man.
there's a butterfly on it. You say
Nice.
it's not beautiful.
Float like a butterfly.
Freedom.
Yep. And
What does a butterfly mean to you?
golden
You're a
butterfly.
poet. What does it mean to you?
Well, in corporation with my name, I had branded myself with this tattoo after I moved out of the projects to symbolize my freedom.
Wow.
I feel like when I was in the projects, I was living in a
Papillon.
cocoon.
You ever seen the movie Papillon? Beautiful movie.
Which
No,
is
I
what
didn't.
Steve
Papillon
McQueen.
is butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. We'll check that out.
You should see it.
Yeah, I'm definitely
But there's
gonna check it
certainly a
out.
book that he wrote too, which is prior to the. There's a real character, Papillon.
okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
he has an interesting freedom story.
Okay, I'm
Nice.
definitely
We
gonna
gotta
check
check
it
that
out.
out. Yeah.
Probably similarities. Well, yeah, maybe on he
On
was,
some levels, yeah.
And
Okay.
you've done readings and tell some career highlights.
I've done readings. I've been on a poetry tour. The poetry tour is still going on currently now.
Okay.
I've been to Baltimore. We've been to Georgia, Greensboro. I've been to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
We've been to the Bronx, the SN Studios.
Yeah.
Getting your art out there.
Yep, we've been
Yeah,
all over.
too.
I've been to Palladium in Queens. I
okay.
performed in front of a few A&R artists. And, I've just been, going up with the poetry. And I've been dedicating some of my poetry to, like, cancer survivors, domestic violence, any type of abuse survivors who made it through or who families who experienced any type of traumatic experiences. I've dedicated several poems to them. And this book is universal. It talks about everybody, races, sicknesses, lesbian, gays, everything, just life, love, and unity, and try to move forward from the things that brought us down in the past and use that to build us up for the future.
Okay, and we're going to hear you read later in the show.
Well, I'm going to recite because I normally like to memorize my poetry.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Even better. Okay. And Turtle's going to perform. And we have a great comedian coming up in the next segment. Tell us a little about him.
We have a comedian
awesome.
coming. He's funny man Kenny Ken. You've probably seen him everywhere. Stand Up New York Comedy Club. What is it? 57 East 57th. He's awesome. When you see him, he's
So
magnetic.
that's the next segment.
Yes.
Right after the commercial break. So plug whatever you want to plug. You have a big wrestling show
Oh
coming
yes,
up?
well,
Yeah,
come
almost
out
for the camera.
Come out June 25th. BCW presents Summer of Sin. We're gonna have some great matches. EC Negro, the King of New York, is gonna be taking on Homicide.
King of New York who no show today. My former friend EC Negro. I'm kidding.
And we have General Romero. He's going to be in competition. We have Papa Don, E.A. James.
Papa Don's one of the finest indie wrestlers in the world. He should be in WWE right now.
Agreed. Papa Don
And
is
Homicide
awesome.
also.
Yes.
Homicide's
Yes.
tremendous. World
Yep.
class.
Yes, indeed. There's going to be a couple of those legends on the show. And, we work a lot with them. I love those guys. I think they're awesome. So come out June 25th, 8220 Queens Boulevard, Elks Lodge. Doors open at 7. Show starts at 8. All right.
Pro wrestling and poetry. I love this guy. Perfect combination. Turtle,
Yes,
what do you got coming up? What do you want to
Since
plug?
Advertising? Well, actually, like I said, I deal with a lot of upcoming artists, such as myself, and so I just want to do a documentary on that. I have a.
So you want to produce, direct the documentary?
I do Renaissance Man. When I tell you I'm a Renaissance fan.
Documentaries are a lot of work and not a lot of money. I've done documentaries.
Well, the way I look at it is time and money are essentially the same thing.
You got plenty of time. You're 21. You're good. You're good.
Okay,
I'm running out of time. You're all right.
I'm trying to manage it, very well. So, I really want to do this documentary for upcoming artists. Why? Because you do a documentary on upcoming artists, what's going to happen? Somebody will see it. Somebody will see it.
Yeah.
Somebody will see it. On top of that, people coming from their fan base, people coming from somebody else's
We'll put it
fan
on
base
137
blah, blah,
Roku
blah.
channels. It'll get us there.
Exactly.
Most definitely. I want to call it Turtle Underground Rising.
Has anybody
That's
done
what
a
I wanna call it,
documentary
Turtles Underground
on
Rising.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the phenomena? Has anybody ever
Yes,
done that?
yes, they have. Yes,
Oh.
they have. And I'm such a terrible fan because I can't recall the name at the moment, but they have, and I've seen it.
What was it? Was it good? I mean,
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah,
Okay.
and anything that involves turtles, unless we're talking about the next mutation. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's good.
When I was a
Because
kid,
Next
I had a
Mutation is not
turtle
good.
named Speedy because he was very slow. Call him Speedy.
Nice.
Freedom, what do you got coming up? What would you like to plug?
What do you mean?
Any events? Any
Oh,
readings?
next month I'm having my 3rd Poetry Slam tour at the Social Butterfly. We haven't really solidified a date yet, but it's definitely going to be on a Saturday. It's going to be from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And it's going to be open mics. We'll have poets, comedians, rappers, singers, dancers.
Wow, that sounds like fun. That's
I
like
would
right
say-
about. That's what we do here.
That's right. Yeah, bring them all and.
That's what we should do one show. Just bring everybody. Just give them an open stage and.
Oh wow, yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
nice.
We've had dance. I mean, but
We've had everything on
That's
this
true.
show.
That's true.
Let's do it.
I tell John all the time, in my travels, I've met everybody from former Tibetan monks to former porn queens. We know everybody.
Wow. Love it.
I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. So, folks, when we come back, we have comedian Kenny Ken joining the party. And to end the show, all these great performers are going to be live on stage. Don't you dare go anywhere. More of Legends TV after this very brief commercial timeout. Don't you dare go anywhere.
Being a fireman is more than just putting out blazes and giving kittens CPR. Sometimes my duty demands I fan the flames, like when a call comes in from a lady who needs immediate assistance. Maybe she needs help with a computer thing. Maybe she wants to go antique. Could be as simple as understanding that walking in heels it's hard. Ou aussi simple que l'été dernier à Paris. C'est sympa. Maybe it's ladies' night in, and she wants a simple, delicious recipe for margaritas with a twist. First, a can of limeade. Now hold on to this. You'll be using it. Side note, kittens make everything better. Next, add water. Now, a bottle of light beer. No, shh. Trust me, I'm a professional. And last, and most important, Sauza Blue Tequila. Now, mix it up. Ole. Yes, that's what I'm trained for. Whether it's to help her choose leggings or pants, telling her leggings are pants, or discussing leggings and jeggings versus pant pegging at her next ladies' night in, I'll come to the rescue. Don't call me a hero. Just call me. Let me know what time.
Hello, I'm Dr. G. I've established an organization called Voices for Veterans. We use music to honor veterans and to help the public understand what veterans have gone through when they come home from war. On October 22nd of this year, we're going to have an incredible show, a 3.5-hour concert at Malloy College, one of the greatest 500-seat theaters on Long Island. we're going to honor 25 veterans. We've taken an incredible band, 15 people from Long Island, some of the best musicians we could find, and we merged it with a 30-person choir, merging gospel with rock and roll. This incredible 3.5-hour show is like none other that you've ever seen. This is Grammy quality. October 22nd, you can buy a ticket, you can make a donation, you can get involved, you can help us with the committee. You can look us up at veterans.org and go on our website and get all the information about the show. Please make a difference to these veterans by coming aboard with us with Voices for Veterans. Thank you so much.
We are back with Legends TV. We pulled this guy literally out of bed to show up last second. He had no idea this was going to happen. Comedian Kenny Ken, how are you today?
How you doing? I'm great. Thanks for having me. How's
my
everything?
pleasure. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, 37 years old, Gemini house. All right, enjoy your lives. Okay, and I've been doing comedy over 10 years now. It's a real funny story. I actually started doing comedy over a dare. Someone dared me, you always have that funny person in your family or friends or whatever, and everybody's like, you should do comedy. And I literally said, do I look like a comedian to you?
Yeah.
And we went to, I guess it was like an open mic or a karaoke thing, and he said, you should go up there and do a couple minutes. I said, stop with the jokes, okay? Stop with the jokes. You're joking too much. They go and sign my name up, and they call my name. I look at everybody like, so I go up there and I didn't know what to say.
Just off the top of your head,
Off the
improv.
top of my head, improv. I started making fun of the crowd. I started using old Eddie Murphy jokes. And when I got the laughs, I got bit. I got bit by the bug.
It's addictive, yeah.
It was so addictive that night I went to Rodney Dangerfield's club on the east side, and I did a 10-minute set there. It was like 11:30 at night, and I did a set there, and I got the laughs. My head was so big with it that I came into the house the next day. I was like, don't look at me. Don't take pictures, please. No, I don't do autographs. No, okay. Do you know who you're talking to? I'm big now. I'm big.
Yeah.
I understand who I am. So, been doing comedy. My comedy branches off where I use reality to make you laugh at it, as opposed to making things up. I started making things up in the beginning of my comedy career, and it wasn't as funny as the actual things that happened.
Oh yeah.
So that's a little bit about how I do the comedy. I try to bring it to I try to make it visual. I want you to see exactly what happened and what I'm saying.
So you're a storyteller, in a sense.
In a sense, yeah. In a sense.
I have a lot of friends who are stand-up comedians. We regularly have stand-ups on the show, and they're a little nervous these days because everybody is so politically correct. They're actually scared to say the wrong thing, and what pros tell me is anything is safe. Anything is safe. I've seen Jewish comedians do jokes about the Holocaust. I've seen black comedians do jokes about slavery. Anything is safe, but you can't do 9/11 jokes on 9/12. The timing's not right. What's your take on that?
I actually had that conversation. Me and Mike, we were just recently talking about that. Certain jokes, like there's a border, there's a line you cannot cross. How the world has evolved so much. Certain things you can't say the word bag, so on and so forth.
Right.
So you can't go over that line. So I seen a comedian, and he went up there and he made a joke about, homosexuals. And there was a homosexual in the crowd that got offended. And they later showed the scene, the guy beats him up in the parking lot.
Really?
Yeah, the guy beats him up in the parking lot.
Sounds like a wrestling angle.
I think we got to get him for the BCW. I don't know.
Definitely.
But what was the funny part about it, I made a joke about it, and I thought to use it, but I was like, I don't think it's going to work. I'm like, are these transgender people like taking Thai boy classes, or are they learning martial arts? Because every time I see them in a fight, they're winning.
Yeah.
It's not like they're losing or anything. Okay, so that whole term about he's a sissy, I don't think he's a sissy. You need to calm your tone before he kicks your butt. So I was just making a joke about it, and I said that joke wouldn't fly in certain rooms because of the I guess the ignorance in it all. Like, we're all not people, I guess. Like, he's a homosexual, he's not good enough. What are you talking about? He might do a karate kick and kick your head off or something. You never know what he's gonna do, and he might be more intelligent than you. He might have accomplished more than you. So I never try to overstep my boundaries.
There are
and
comedians who
offend
tell me they're scared to play colleges because they're so hypersensitive that you're going to say the wrong thing and offend somebody. You know, it's a difficult time to be a comedian.
Actually, you have to gear it away. Use a joke that's user friendly for everyone. You're not offending this person.
But I'm tired of hearing airplane jokes. You know, you have to have a little edge to comedy.
That's right. That's right. That's why for instance, with my comedy, I try to use real life situations as opposed to the everyday mundane thing that, oh, the guy crossed the road and so on and so forth, or my mom is so fat.
Right.
Okay, everybody's heard that. Everybody's like, okay, it better be a better punchline than last time. That's what you're waiting for.
My mom's so fat she rode twice and she was in Canada.
Oh.
I mean, it's so old. You know,
Okay, we don't want to hear these jokes no more.
Yeah,
So
it's done. It's done. Yeah.
I look at it as putting a little extra flavor on it, a little extra spice, as opposed to, you're just supposed to put the seasoning that came with the oodles and noodles, but now you threw that away. Now you got the oregano, you put the garlic sauce on it. You made it spiced up a little
Getting
bit.
hungry.
Yeah. We're going to do lunch after this. I know.
Well, some pizza or something.
So, as a comedian, how do you attain your own voice? Because a lot of comedians, I was influenced by George Carlin, I was influenced by Richard Pryor, Lenny Bruce, etc., so on. How do you get your own voice?
I actually grew into my voice. It's odd because a lot of people in my family are funny already. And like my dad, big up to my dad, he's like the funniest man I've ever saw. When I was a kid, I would watch him in a group of people and the laughs were so contagious. I didn't even know what they were talking about. I'm laughing. I'm like, I don't know what he said. And it was so contagious that I wanted to be that. But I never thought to be a comedian. And I actually I get my inspiration from my family members. I'll sit around, I'll go to my cousin's house and I'll go there with a pad and pen and just watch his kids run around. I'll see them crash into the wall. I'm like, he's like a little drunk person, right?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's funny,
Or I watch them trying to help them with homework and I'm like, you don't know arithmetic either. Yeah. Why these teachers are not teaching these kids enough? Because you asked me that question. I'm like, why you didn't learn in school? You should have paid attention. No, you're going to get the F because you didn't focus. Okay?
You ever see little kids do arithmetic? Kid goes 2 and 2 and he goes, that's easy, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wrong. But you let them go. You're like, you're going to learn the hard way. You have to learn the hard way. But most of my inspiration comes from people. I use people as my canvas. I look at people and my phone is full of little jokes that I just see on a regular basis. I used to walk around with a pad and pen until I left it on a bus somewhere. Somebody hope not making money off of my jokes. But
Well, since you mentioned that, there is a lot of quote unquote borrowing in the comedy business. What's your take on that? As a up and coming comedian, you hear some star steal your joke. How do you react?
I give you an incident that happened to me one time. I was doing a show, and as comedians, we go to shows, and most of those shows are like networking parties for other shows. Right. And there was a girl, I actually wanted to talk to her. And I do a little small segment about, retarded people. How they get on the bus and they inconvenience the world. You're late for an appointment, and this guy gets on the bus, and I'm sitting there waiting. I'm like, when is he gonna just strap him in? Huh? We could have strapped him to the back of the bus and dragged him there. It's crazy. And
which would probably offend some people too.
Right? So
yeah.
After the joke, we went to another club, and the girl went on before me. She did my whole set.
Really?
In detail. She even did it too, because over the years, I added little things to the set where I did a 360 and the guy walks out with keys. So I pull my keys out and do it. She did the whole set.
Wow.
And fortunately for me, I have dozens of sets to do. So I wasn't going there to do that actual set.
Unfortunately for her, you weren't armed.
I was I was so upset that I told the promoter. And then I told a couple comedians, it was like, no, don't do nothing. I said, did I ask you anything? I didn't ask you anything. I asked you to back me up. Since you don't want to back me up, you go over there and don't be a witness, okay? And I went over there and I approached her on it, and she swore in her heart that she's been doing this. And if I'm going to perform with you, I'll Google you, I'll YouTube you before I even perform with you, just to see what I'm up against. Right. You've never done that set before. So I was so pissed and so offended that the promoter, he calmed me down by telling me these key words. He said, don't be upset and look at it like that because it happens in this business. Look at it as a form of flattery.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, right, John?
Yes, indeed.
There you go.
So
you're gonna do his poetry set later.
That's right.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, you give me 3 minutes with it. I'll have some spice on it.
So, Kenny, plug any social media or any upcoming gigs, whatever you want to plug.
Well, June 18th, I'm doing an all-white affair in Mount Vernon, and I got YouTube, Funny Man Kenny Ken. You guys can follow me on Facebook, Funny Man Kenny Ken. Working on a lot of different things. June 27th, I have an upcoming boat ride, a comedy boat ride, actually, that's coming up. And BCW, June 25th, I'm going to be there.
So what are you doing as far as wrestling?
That's funny. Every time I tell people about it, like, you're too small to be a wrestler. Please don't tell me you're winning, you got a belt or something like that. No, I'm actually, more or less, I'm doing more commentating. I'm starting trouble.
Okay.
I'm coming into the ring and messing with the guys into the ring and everything, and trying to develop a little theme for me real quickly. But I've had one little
comedy meets wrestling meets poetry. This is great. You guys are perfect for this show. Perfect.
Thank you.
Speaking of which, right after this very brief commercial timeout, we're gonna have live poetry, live comedy. All these gentlemen and Freedom are going to take the stage. So don't you dare go anywhere. More with Legends TV taking the stage in just a moment. Be right back.
For nearly a decade, Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio has featured interviews with the greatest names in the arts and sports. Heard worldwide at legendsradio.net, the program has featured these great musical legends: Ray Manzarek of The Doors, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, Judy Collins, Roberta Flack, and many more. Stars from movies, TV, and comedy have included Jenny McCarthy, Wayne Brady, 30 Rock's Judah Friedlander, Shelley Berman, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, David Allen Greer, and Paul Mooney. Stars of pro wrestling and MMA include Bruno Sammartino, Rowdy Roddy Piper, Superstar Billy Graham, and Frank Shamrock. Co-hosted by renowned journalist Dr. Mike Lano, Legends Radio is heard Wednesdays 7 p.m. to 9:20 p.m. Eastern Standard. We are archived 24/7 with hundreds of hours of classic interviews. Legends Radio also features the best in indie music, showcasing talent deserving wider exposure.
I'm from Brooklyn, baby. Don't forget the gravy. We are soldiers.
You missed the birth of your mother and father. Don't you dare miss Evan Ginsberg's Legends Radio.
All right, and we are back with Legends TV. This is Mike Mizzle of Breed Combination Entertainment, and at this time, I'd like to bring up very young, up-and-coming artist, Turtle Will.
All right, shout out to her in order before I do this. Shout out to my guy E Smooth. Shout out to my mother. Shout out to my family. Shout out to my extended family. Let's do this. Something I wrote, I titled "Rest in Peace, Madre." Do not worry, my mother's not dead, nor am I Hispanic. The only thing I can promise in this life is death. So allow me to honor you before your last breath. These words come out my mouth, but they spawn from the chest, and I'm trying to live this life without any regret, because the world, it will come to an end. And that begins once you're buried alongside your sins. But Mom, I'm apologizing for all that I did, and not to just you, but for all the wrong I have done with your gift. You had blessed me with life, and well, have you seen what I've done with it? I know you remember the first girlfriend I had brought to the crib, and I would mention her name, but that's a little too much info to give. In this performance, it ain't about her. Mama, this about you. You recognized her as the love of my life before I even knew. And that's some funny when I think back to it. I gotta ask myself, Mom, are you psychic? Because that I think I inherited. Because the day you were gone is when I predict myself over your casket, and I'd be reciting this. This verbal art piece is titled Rest in Peace, Madre. I gave it a Spanish flavor on account of my compadre, whose house he allowed me to stay at when you kicked me out because we had different ways. But Mom, I get it, I still love you. So when I say R.I.P., I pray you're sleeping comfortably underneath your sheets. And I want you to get the chance to read this before you decease. Before that day comes, I prepared for those tears. Hey, nobody lives forever. And when we're lucky, we just live long years. If you guys would like to applaud, that would be great. That would be a great finisher for me. Thank you all for your respect and listening. And if you want to hear more of what I'm capable of, find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Turtle Empire. On YouTube, it's actually Turtles Empire with an apostrophe and S. But yeah, but True Turtle Empire is how you find me. I'm Turtle Will. Thank you guys. How could I possibly forget my freedom? Bringing freedom to the stage, let's do that.
Hello, good afternoon. Maybe I can adjust this a little bit. Is it better? Can anybody hear me? My name is Freedom Brown. I'm a poet, born and raised in Brownsville. And currently in life, I'm on a journey to the unknown, to a better place, to a better future, to more success and longevity. The poem I'm going to do today is called Walking Through the Mist. I am walking through the mist of the shadows. A ton of bricks weigh on my shoulders, and my head I cannot lift. I am walking through the darkest tunnel, and footprints keep appearing in front of me. I thought I was walking this journey alone. When I entered into my destiny, I did not see anyone on my side or in front of me. In the midst of my storm, I am pressing forward because I believe this is only a season. I am walking through the mist of my old self, shedding my former ways as a snake sheds his skin. I am transforming while walking through the mist of the hurricane. The cave is starting to glow. The light is seeping in. I am almost at the finish line. I need some more strength. I am weak. I cannot take another step. Leave me here. Let me take my last breath. The path is too long. Behold, as I begin to faint, I felt hands wrapping around me, but I didn't see anyone. I heard a voice speak into my ear. I have carried you through the mist of the storm. I have carried you during the time the doctors pronounced you dead. I
I have carried you through the darkness. I have carried you through the shadows of the valleys of death. I have carried you and bared my footprints. You shall not fear no evil. I am God who carried you. In the midst of the storm, continue to walk into your destiny, unwrapping the ways I have sacrificed for you. Continue pressing forward, showing the world the miracles I have bestowed upon you. In the midst of the dark, I shine a light, making a way for you. I am God who carried you while walking through the midst of the storm with you. Freedom Brown. Today, I would like to also introduce this amazing gentleman by the name of John Winell.
Freedom Brown, everybody. Wow, what a performance. So I'm just going to read a few, and we'll bring up comedian Kenny Ken to end the show. This is called Listening for the Rhythm. Golden aura, sprinkles, ignites rooms and roadways. I'm lost today, but with a glimmer of time, seconds or fizzled drops of hourglass sand, I find comfort in your rhythm. The hatchet of a sunset collapsing into the arc of a wave, the bay with its boats waiting to unfurl its lonely journeys. And after 30 years of embattling hurricanes, earthquake-damaged houses where the dead played in Oakland and girls swayed their gentle bodies, I'm leaving. A chameleon, rock climber, hovering like an apparition over places broken, haunted, never to return. This is called Truth Makes Us Bleed. Crows perch above beech trees. Beside the war memorials, names became eternal markers, some filled with white roses. Blood of the innocents, like Herod's sacrificed, dampens souls from across the globe who come to take photographs and linger like yesterday's shadows. I listen to the silence. Water, cleansing and destructive, returns like the revolving arc of a gull's wing, or travelers as they pay their tolls to purify as a typhoon on a sea-bound voyage. And I'll end with this short one and then bring up Kenny Ken, called The Fire of a Rose. Pale horizon light, wheeling gulls on yesterday's tears. I think of your shimmer, reaching across a room. Solitude watches from a corner. Like a wave, you rise, while I fall within the fire of a rose you wore that morning when the sun seemed to laugh in its shadow. Thank you. I'm gonna bring up Kenny Ken, the comedian. Come on, Kenny.
Wow, give it up for him. That poetry was so good right there. I had to get that out the way because I'm too short for me to have to reach that 2-3 times. So I'm Funny Man Kenny Ken, and you don't know. I have to tell you about my short life, the way things go for me. It's hard walking around here looking like a 10th grader. You people don't understand the life I go through, okay? I can't even walk through the streets safely, all right? I've been held in captivity at least 3 times by truants, okay? They hold you and they ask you stupid questions like where your mom and everybody at. I don't even know where my mother's at or my dad. Things are going wrong in my life, you know? And hard part is these kids, they think that I'm their age because I look like them. That's the messed up part. Huh? You don't know what's going on in my life? I'll be walking around here and the kids will say stupid things to me, like a girl tapped me on my shoulder. He likes you. I said, he likes me? Well, tell him I like you. Just cause a whole bunch of confusion, mess up everything. It's hard going on. Now, I just turned 38 years old. I don't look a day over 20. So, I'm doing really well for myself. And family's been getting to me a lot lately. They've been telling me things like, you need to grow up. I need to grow up. I need to get a little taller. That's what you're trying to tell me. Things is messed up these days. And the kids, they don't communicate with me. They think that I'm within their levels. Okay, let me tell you something stupid just happened to me recently. I'm messing with the kids. I go out and sitting at the park, just enjoying my day. And one of the kids come up to me and tells me, he says, listen, I need help tying my shoelaces. I said, tying your shoelaces? First off, young man, your shoes are on the wrong foot. He says, oh, I didn't know that. I said, so I bend down, help the little young man. I take his shoe off. I got the left foot on the left foot and the right foot on the right foot. I tied it up real tight and everything. You know what the little boy said to me? The little boy said, well, these shoes are a lot tighter than my mom makes them. I said, so why don't you get your mom to tie your shoes instead of coming to an average stranger? Didn't people tell you not to speak to strangers? He says, you know what? I don't like the way you're talking to me. I said, you don't like the way I'm talking to you? I said, sir, little man, please leave. I start to walk away. The little boy pushes me. Oof. Little boy, you're short enough for me to knee you in your head. You need to back up, little boy. You need to back up. The little boy starts arguing with me, flipping out and everything. And I try to hold my composure. And to tell you the truth, guys, I lost it after 10 minutes, man. Lost it after 10 minutes. Started arguing. Next thing you know, I got to the judge. I had to explain to him what had actually happened. The little boy started it, okay? It wasn't my fault, okay? Man, I'm going to tell you the truth. My probation will end sooner or later, okay? They piss test me at least once a week. They're going to stress. I'm going to straighten things out for my life, man. I'm going to straighten things out. But, yeah, I've been going through it lately. Dating's hard being this hype. And people don't understand. Dating's hard. Every time I do internet dating, Christian mingle, whatever it is, I always meet this tall girl. I always meet the tall girl. And it's the funniest thing how they react when they first see me. They be like, Kenny Ken? I'm like, hey, what's going on? They be like, oh, jeez. I start messing with them. Pick me up, baby. Give me a hug. Give me a hug, baby. Pick me up. Up. Come on, baby. I start talking all in their ear. Girl, don't worry about it. When we lay down, we the same height anyway. Don't you worry about that, girl. You got to enjoy your life. Sometimes you have to smile at the stupid things, I know I'm short. It's okay. I'm sitting on the back of the bus. My legs just are swinging. I'm enjoying things. I'm just enjoying it. I don't worry about things no more, man. If I got to jump off of things, I just jump off of them. Sometimes I tuck and roll when I jump off. I tuck and roll, make sure I don't, put too much pressure on the knees. You don't want to hurt yourself, For real. But the life is real going around here like this. But I thought about getting those shoes with the heels on the back like Prince used to wear. God bless, rest in peace, Prince. But he gave me a little inspiration. A man that short, that sexy, and had all that money, why couldn't it work out for me, right? I could walk around here making things happen for myself. I think so. I think I could probably do something with it. But there's problems like, driving big cars. I'm a little dude. I'm always compensating for stuff. So, yeah, I had a Thunderbird. Yeah. Anybody who know about a Thunderbird, that's a big, long 2-door. Okay, it's the size of a 4-door, but it's a 2-door. All right, put my seatbelt on, went to the car wash, got armor rolled everything, armor rolled my leather seats. I went to go press on the brakes, and next thing you know, I'm under the steering wheel like this. I said, please, Lord, let me be able to reach this shift knob. Got it back in park. Got it in park. I couldn't believe I was even under the steering wheel. That's how short I am. I got to put, stumps on the bottom of my shoes just to press on the brakes. So it's been going hard for me lately, and I got myself a little compact. It's easier. I press on the brake. I can only hit the steering wheel now. I don't crash into or fall under the car. Nothing like that. Yeah, it's real, man. It's real. But, times is hard nowadays. Been going through it. I'm broke. How many people are broke? Broke people. Whew. Oh, my God. Broke, right? Broke people. I'm not saying broke like you have no money. I'm saying broke like you got to think about what you're going to spend your money on, okay? I'm in the store making life decisions sometimes. I'm looking at stuff, and you ain't got enough money when you got to ask questions like, how much does that cost? right there. How much does that cost? No, or okay, and you count money in your pocket. I became a pro with this. I can count money in my pocket and figure out how much change I'm gonna get back at the same time. Really, $13? If I give him this 20, he's gonna give me back 7. Okay, you know, it's a lot that I go through, and these day and age, man, I can't understand certain situations. I just got my Eat Better Tonight card. Oh, that's EBT for those of you that don't know. Yeah, listen, that's the grown man's come up, okay? If you're not working really, you're not making a lot of money, get the EBT card, try to make something out of your life, okay? Fill your refrigerator up. It happens, okay? You know how proud I am to open my refrigerator door and I can literally make decisions like, nah, I don't want pudding. Nope. I don't even want Jell-O. Do I want Tropicana or do I want Minute Maid? I make these decisions regularly, okay? I make these decisions all the time in my life, and it's good. I'm happy about that. People scared. Man, I don't know arithmetic. I don't even know math, but I know all 18 digits on that card. I can tell you right now. You want to get some food? Call me. I'll be like this. 13. Yeah, I thought I was going to give you the number. I'm not giving you that number, okay? I'm not giving you that number. But it's, life is good. Ladies, before I go, I want to just address something. Sandal season's in full effect. Warm weather's here. Okay. And I don't understand, ladies. I know you want to get your toes done, have everything looking nice. Great, nice. Question. What's up with the big toenail? What is up with that? Y'all use that as a canvas. Okay, I know y'all want to put the little flower on there. Sometimes you got your country's flag. Then you got your kid's picture. Now, some of you got more than one kid. So that means you got to put a kid on each toe. And for me to identify how many kids you have, I have to look at your toes. And 80% of ladies, your pinky toe does not have a full extended grown nail. So I want to know why that kid looked like that on the pinky toe. It doesn't look right, okay? And the bottom of your foot, you got to use that scratch away stuff to get the dead skin away, okay? Because if you're going to wear sandals, wear them correctly. Before I go, I'm going to address the gentleman. Gentlemen, this is the season for beautiful women, all right? They're going to be wearing sundresses. Their bodies are going to be more exposed. There's going to be sexy stuff. Do not make the mistake that I've made, okay? How many times have you went out and talked to a girl, got her phone number, and then you get to meet her friends? I'm not bugging out, but why are all her friends better looking than she is? I mean, like, oh man, where were you when I was accepting these applications? Okay, I did the hands-on experience. I did the open interview. I even did the background check, and none of your friends were that good looking when I first met you. Now you got these models type chicks and everything like that. I'm your funny man, Kenny Ken. You definitely rocking with your boy. Enjoy yourself. It's the new year, and thank you for having me on this show. Love, peace. I'm Kenny Ken. Good night.